Welcome to my channel. This is Dawn with Pink Chair Gaming, and this is my Rags to Riches Island Rock Creek. In this episode, I want to show the daily grind of trying to make bells on my Rags to Riches Island. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're going to find out today is that Nook's Cranny has had enough business. It is now time to upgrade, which I'm really excited about, so we have more options for furniture purchases in the store. The first thing that happens every day is Tommy calls to let me know how much money has been deposited in my account for items that I sold in the Dropbox the day before. And today's amount of 216,000 bells isn't too shabby. One of the first things I do every day is check my turnip prices. I try to make sure to check them both in the morning and in the afternoon to make sure I can get the best price possible. I do want to show off a cute little area that I made for keeping my turnips while I'm waiting to sell them. This allows me to keep them close to Nook's Cranny without taking up room in my pockets. Next on my agenda is Able Sisters, and sometimes I find something I like, sometimes I don't. You never know what you're going to find here, and the only thing that is an absolute must for my wardrobe is my do-rag. Anything else is definitely changeable. It's not like hard mode where I had to create an outfit to wear. I can wear whatever I want to as long as I've got my do-rag. As I'm running around my island, I always want to make sure I dig up my fossils. After I get them assessed by Blathers, anything that doesn't have to be donated can be sold directly to Nook's Cranny. Next on my agenda is watering my flowers. I'm trying to breed blue roses, so I want to make sure they're watered every day. In line with this, I also want to make sure I go ahead and water my crops so I can make sure I get 3 of each one when they ripen to make sure I get the most bang for my buck. Getting DIYs takes quite a while, especially when you're prone to getting duplicates, so I always make sure to talk to my villagers and get a DIY from them when they're crafting. As a forager, I can sell shells directly to Nook's Cranny. So as I'm looking for my DIY along the beach each day, I make sure to pick up shells along the way. One of the things I like to do is keep my money trees on my peninsula. So each day I will chop down the one with bells on it, and then when I find my glowing money spot, I'll bury my money and then bring the tree here and replace it with the chopped down tree. As I'm making my way around the island, I wanted to show you my river mouth area that I've been working on. I found the inspiration on Pinterest, and even though it took me quite a while to figure it out, I love how it's turned out. Another item I can sell directly to Nook's Cranny is gyroids. So anytime I find a gyroid fragment, I plant it here on my peninsula, and once it's fully grown, I take it to Nook's Cranny and sell it for full price. Now that I have all of my fossils dug up for today, it's time to get them assessed. Lucky for me, all of them have been donated, so I can sell them all for a profit. Something else I like to make sure I do each day is log into the ABD. Even though I may not purchase anything in there, I want to make sure I get my 300 Nook miles just for logging in. That way I can accumulate them for when I need them. Today, red is on my island, and one of the rules is that you do have to purchase something from NPCs when they're on your island. So I'm going to purchase a piece of art that I can then resell at my market. One of the things I definitely have to make sure I complete every day are my 2x Nook Mile goal. Remember my fossils from earlier? I was able to sell those along with some shells and fish for 17,000 bells. Every little bit helps. I watched a Console Kato video about some tips and tricks that she's implementing on her Rags to Riches Island. And one of those tricks is only having 22 non-fruit trees on your island. This way, when you shake your trees, you're not shaking any trees that don't have anything in them. This 22 total includes 15 bell bags totaling 1,500 bells, 5 wasps, and 2 furniture items. The wasp I save until Flick is on the island and sell them to him to make sure I get the best price, since they're worth $37.50 when sold directly to him. After I've shaken all my trees, I'll then go through and chop all of them with a flimsy axe. This accomplishes 2 things. It allows me to harvest wood that I can use later for crafting furniture because, let's face it, crafting is cheaper than buying. And it also allows me to break at least one axe to help with my goal of getting the golden axe DIY. Another item on my daily routine is hitting all of my rocks. The same reason I chop all of my trees, I want to make sure I hit all of my rocks so I can use the resources for crafting. But I also want to make sure I hit my money rock for my free 16,100 bells every day. Now comes my favorite way of making bells in rags to riches. I now have 3 really big gardens on my island. This way I can harvest one of my gardens each day. I take all of my vegetables that I've harvested and craft as much as I can into recipes and sell the crafted items in my Dropbox. I have figured out that you make more money by selling crafted recipes than just selling the harvested vegetable. I'm still looking for the spooky cookie recipe that will allow me to cook using all of the different colors of pumpkins. But for now, I'm able to make a total of about 100,000 bells each day with just cooking recipes from one of my gardens and selling the leftover pumpkins. Another thing I make sure to do every day is dive. I have to fill up my Sea Creature Critterpedia, and this helps ensure that I catch everything. But it's also super helpful when I catch a Gigas giant clam, which sells for 12,000 bells through the Dropbox. This particular diving expedition landed me almost 53,000 bells and brings my total for the day up to 162,000 bells. The last item on my daily routine is taking a cabin island tour and foraging as much as I can from the island. I got really lucky with this tour and had pumpkins on the island. This will allow me to go back and cook even more recipes that I can sell through the Dropbox. Once I'm back on the island, I can sell any fish and shells directly to Nooks. This time, I made 3,000 bells from those items. Next, I crafted as many cooking recipes as I could and sold those and some other various small items to the box for an additional 11,000 bells. The last thing I did was craft as many items as I could using the resources I got from the island and sell those to Nooks. This got me an additional 24,000 bells, bringing my grand total for the day to 198,000 bells. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. I am really happy with the progress I'm making on my island, and I think I'm starting to get into a groove where I have a good daily routine for making money that now I can actually start thinking about decorating a little bit, since one of my goals is to have a 5-star island. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!